Hey everyone, so in the previous video I've shown you how to install RedCorners.Forms on a regular Xamarin.Forms project, and then we went through how to set up an Alive content page and a sidebar. So in this video I'm going to talk about some of the iOS specific features of RedCorners.Forms. So if we just go ahead and run this code that we have on an iPhone XR, this is what we're going to get. So as you can see, we have light status bar, which we can't see because the background is white. We have a text that's overlapping with the top part of the screen, which is something that we don't want because it's somewhat unpleasant. And here's our sidebar. So the sidebar is perfectly aligned to the top of the screen, but it's not really aligned with the bottom of the screen. So let's go ahead and just add a background image to the home page and make it full screen. So the first thing we're gonna do is add a cached image, which is part of FF image loading, and then let's say horizontal options fill, vertical options fill, aspect is fill, and source is this URL. So if I run this now, so the image is aligned with the top of the screen, but it's still not aligned with the bottom of the screen, and we need it to be full screen. First I'm going to change aspect to aspect fill this time. Then I'm going to add fix bottom padding equals false. That makes all of the content get aligned with all of the screen. So if I run this again, so now we have our full screen background. We still have this text that's overlapping with the top part of the screen, which is unpleasant, but we can see the light status bar. And the sidebar is also perfectly aligned to the top and bottom margins of the screen. So let's go ahead and fix this text. So if we just wrap this stack layout with an Alive content view, we're gonna get the same properties that AliveContentPage offers. So fix bottom padding is true, and fix top padding is also true. Okay, so now you see that the label is fixed, so it doesn't overlap with the status bar and the notch anymore. So whatever you put inside an Alive content view, and whenever you make these two properties true, it automatically aligns the contents depending on which device you're using. So if it's an iPhone XR, then it gives like more padding than it would give to a normal iPhone. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to change the status bar color without writing any platform specific code in your iOS project. So here we have a property called UI status bar style. So you can set the color of your iOS status bar directly from here. So right now it's set to light content, but if I change it to default and run it again, now you can see that the status bar is black, and it's a perfectly bindable property. So let's say I just do binding UI status bar style and then go back to my view model. So let's say we want to make a switch that would change the color. So we need a public bool is light content. By default it's true, so get is light content and set, and and update all of the properties. And then we do a public bar style, which is if is light content, then it returns light content, otherwise it returns default. Okay, now if we go back to the XAML file and add a switch that toggles this, we can directly toggle the color of the status bar from the UI. So let's go here and then add a grid, add a label that says light content, and then text color is white, vertical options is center, and then a switch that toggles that property, so is light content, and horizontal options is end. So we're gonna run the project again. So now we have this switch here, and if I toggle this, you can see that the status bar color changes. So this has been some of the iOS specific features of RedCorners.Forms, and make sure you watch the other videos where I show you some of the Android specific features of RedCorners.Forms. See ya!